Hey guys, so today Sevarog's announced, brand new hero, so I thought I'd do a bit of a breakdown on him. First of all, he looks wicked, check this guy out, beastly looking hammer with a yellowy, greeny glow, that does of course accentuate every time he swings around. It looks absolutely epic, and he just looks like a terrifying fucker. Look at this guy. Doesn't have any legs though, just kind of floats around. But anyway, onto his abilities. So he's got a standard left click, 50 damage, quite slow, but it's always going to be slow when the left click starts on at 50. Onto his right click, Phantom Rush. So he just rushes forwards with a short distance, gliding through any enemies in his path, so there's no blocking apart from terrain. This is an awesome ability, can be used to gain ground, can be used to run away, really handy. One thing I would say, when you hit the right click, there is no, how can I put this? There is no reticle, there is no target volume, he just goes, so as soon as you press it, you're gonna go. So it's a handy ability, really practical, really useful. Onto his Q. His Q is called Siphon, and this ability is, there's a lot to this ability, so bear with me. So Sevarog targets the area in front of him and causes 88 physical damage at the start to all enemies in the targeted area. Sevarog gains soul stacks when he gets a kill with this ability. Siphon gains a damage bonus each time Sevarog grows from collecting souls. So the way this ability works is you hit your Q, you see the target volume, you left click, damage anyone. This should be mainly used for last hitting, because every time you get a last hit with it on a creep, on a jungle creep, on a hero, you do gain whatever his passive is called. What was it called? Soul stacks. There we go, soul stacks. So it's quite like, it's not very long and it's quite narrow as well, the target volume that he hits ahead of him, so do be careful. But mainly at the start, like of course if you're going head to head with an enemy, just tee off on and keep spamming it as many times as you can. But when you're in lane or when you're jungling, save this for the last hit, because you'll get those precious soul stacks, and I'll talk a little bit more about them once we get to the end of his abilities, but they are really useful. Onto his E. His E is called Subjugate. This is a wicked ability, really useful. So Sevarog targets a circle on the ground and calls down a burst of dark energy that does 55 physical damage and applies a root. And I don't know what the tooltip says next, and then add to any enemy hit. I don't know what that means. Kind of feels like probably a grammar mistake. I think it's just saying, and then applies a root to any enemies that it's hit. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. So this is really handy. Yeah, you just drop a circle down. There is a slight delay, maybe 1 or 2 seconds, something like that. And then it does a little bit of damage, 55, not a lot, but more than that, it sticks them in place. I don't know how long it sticks them in place for. I think it's maybe a second and a half, something like that. But it's a wicked ability. It's really good for diving on people. It's really good if, like, even at the start, if people overextend onto towers, you can just pin them in place. It's good to stop them running away. This is a fantastic ability, really useful. Onto his ult, Colossal Blow. This is a fun ability. This is a very fun ability. So Sevarog gives one mighty swing of his hammer and deals 88 physical damage and knockback to enemy heroes. Enemy minions will be instantly killed. Sevarog does an extra bonus damage each time he grows from collecting souls. I'll talk about the souls thing after this. So this is a wicked ability. It does damage, and it's got a big knockback, both vertical and horizontal. You just whack them in the air, they go back. It's really good for when someone's attacking your main carry, like a Twin Blast, who's not particularly tanky, and he's already used his escape, so he can't get away, and you can just run up and fire them away. One thing to be careful of with this ability, of course, is his ult. It's pretty, like, as soon as you hit R, there will be a couple of seconds when you see him charging his hammer up, and then you'll see the target volume come out. It kind of goes out in a semicircle kind of thing. But it's awesome. You do have to kind of preempt it though, because those couple of seconds can be quite tenuous. And like, I don't know if anyone else has played it, but I've had a fair few games of them now, and I find that when I'm playing it, I'm mashing the R key. I'm like, hurry up, come on now. So that is something to be very wary of. Now, if we go on to his passive, which of course it's a big passive and it's ability driven. So his passive is called Soul Tap. There's no way to say it on here, but I've got the wiki up on my other page. So it's called Soul Tap. Sevarog gains soul stacks that give him max health when he kills an enemy with Siphon, his Q ability. Sevarog grows in power so he'll grow, like you'll see on some of the abilities, like on Siphon for example, it says he gets a damage bonus each time Sevarog grows. It doesn't say on his E, but it does say it on his ult. So this happens at 20 stacks, at 40 stacks, and then at 70 stacks, and then at 100 stacks finally. I've never actually got to 100 stacks. I think I got to 70 once. But this is awesome. It means every time you're last hit him with your Q, you get extra health, and then every now and then, a few times in the game, your abilities will get a big boost, big power boost. It's not a massive power boost, don't get me wrong, but it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. And here we have Sevarog in action. No legs, he just kind of floats around. But so yeah, primarily he's a kind of a jungler, a tank, melee of course. Really good for roaming. That's why I always get the harvester key on him. I feel that's really handy on him from the get-go, because if you're roaming around, you're jungling. It's always going to be handy to get those harvesters in and get an extra bit of card XP for the whole team. Big thing, you see me jungling with him here, don't just be spamming your Q. This is the biggest thing I can say about him. You need to precisely use your Q to last hit. You see, I tie it up there so I get them both in it. I get 2 soul stacks, really handy. That way you'll get your health, you'll get your extra damage. It's just, like, this hero is really easy to play and he's really fun to play, he's really awesome. But if you don't get your last hits in with the Q, with the Siphon ability, then what's the point? You're not going to be very good, you're not going to be useful to the team either. So yeah, that's a big thing, that's a big thing. And it's also, it looks like a really cool effect. This kind of green hand jumps out and grabs them. Absolutely wicked, absolutely wicked. In terms of his build, so obviously at the start you're going to go health, you're going to go mana, and then you're going to get a harvester key. But then, so there are 2 starter guides for him. One is tank and one is fighter. Now, for me personally, I've played a few games with him now, and I feel there is his right click, that kind of little sway away ability. Sway away, I don't ignore that. But yeah, so there's 2 starter decks, health and fire, no, tank and fighter, sorry. And in my opinion, you need a combination of the 2 for him to be effective, because he does need extra damage, attack speed especially, because he attacks really slowly, as you can see here. And this is, I think, this is with some extra attack speed on him. But the big thing is, like for me, I never build health on him. I don't ever. Now I've started playing him loads. I don't really ever build any health on him. I do get armor, but I feel like the stacks, as long as you get the stacks, you don't need any extra health on him. It's just kind of wasted. The armor is a big thing on him. I build a lot of armor, depending on where the damage is coming from the other team. The reason, like, don't get me wrong, I think getting just a primarily only tank deck isn't a bad idea, but I feel like he needs extra damage to be effective. Like, he's a utility just with his abilities, but if you get the extra damage, you make him that much more useful as well. I've seen a few people just play him as like with a fighter deck, and man, I don't know about everyone else, but I've found when I'm playing him, when it's just a fighter deck and when he's just like it's all damage abilities, he still doesn't do that much damage. It's really frustrating, it's really annoying. But yeah, he still just doesn't do that much damage. And there's also, like, compare him to like Feng Mao or Grux, or like especially Twin Blast or Sparrow when she won't be broken anymore, but that's another day. But he just doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as them. Like here, this is when I was trying out just the strictly fighter deck, and you can see I've got attack damage, attack speed, then I've got crit as well, and I'm still like I ended this game with only 1 kill, no deaths, but like a buttload of assists. So you just don't do that much damage. So that's why I think a combination of the 2 is good. Don't really go for health. Also, the cooldowns on some of his abilities. There was his right click again. But yeah, the cooldown on his abilities, like his Q, I think it's only got like a 6-second cooldown or something like that. It's really not a long cooldown. So because of that, I don't generally buy or purchase, whatever you want to call it. I don't generally obtain cooldown reduction cards. I just think it's a waste. One thing to be said about his Q, It is very thin range, so you do have to line it up quite carefully when last hitting. Of course, you just want to spam it out when you're against the enemy hero. The E, yeah, there's a little bit of a delay. R, there is a big delay. Your left click standard and your right click is instant. There's no delay there. So guys, this is Sevarog, new character, looks awesome, really fun to play, really awesome hero, brilliant tank, deals a bit of damage, really good as utility. Get those last hits in and you'll be laughing, your whole team will be laughing, because it'll be an easy game. Thank you very much for watching, it's always a pleasure. Subscribe, comment, all that jazz. Thanks again guys, take it easy, bye bye now.